He loves Jesus and art.
In doing this outline, you can do a rough outline, but I will suggest before you go back with that marker, make sure it's exactly how you want it to be, okay? Alright, so we're just doing like the representation of the water. And I have resized the photo to the size of the canvas. This is a 9 by 12 canvas as well. So you can do that. That helps a little bit more too, okay? I'm going to do the little lines throughout the water. So, I'm going to come here. Draw a few lines as close as the reference as we can, because that helps in the proportions and everything too. And remember, when you start shading, don't use your fingers, because that oil from your hands, that could actually mess up your drawing. Alright, gonna come to our corner here. Start connecting these lines. So we're going to come about here. Do that little line. Just representing the different, how the waves and all of that. When Moses parted the Red Sea. So this is just a representation of the Red Sea that Moses actually parted. Okay. Alright. You can always go back and erase. That's totally fine. Just make sure you erase it good enough so you don't have smears and smudges throughout it. Okay. Alrighty. Looking at different angles of our reference. We don't want to come too far because we're going to put Moses in the middle here. Few details as we go. Bring this line down here. And I am using an H pencil because we're just doing the outline, so it doesn't have to be dark, but the H is the lighter one. It's a bit lighter rather than like 2B, 4B. Those get darker, so we'll use that as we add more details, but we're just using this so we can do that outline. Alright, got that. Just trying to get our structure, so when we we go back with the marker, we won't have to try and erase the marker. That's not that easy. Alright, we just got a few detailed lines here. Alright, so that's kind of our rough waves right here. We're going to go back and add the shading. We're going to go back and add shading and all of that so we can see the kind of different dimensions of the water and the sun shining on the water, different things like that. The reason I'm leaving this middle open is because this is where Moses is going to be. So we're going to more than likely add a few more waves and water right here. Once we get Moses in the middle, we can make the waves kind of around him, okay? So now we're going to go to our opposite side and do pretty much the same thing we did on this side, okay? Start from your corner. And this one didn't start at the very top how this side, it started about here. Again, you have those kind of little swivels and different lines just to add to the detail. Alright, that's going to require shading, so we're going to come down here, add our little waves. I'm going to take that onto the end, about here. Alright, you're going to come down here with your water going different ways. That's your first line there. I'm going to come following right behind that one with another one. Alright, we're just going to kind of keep doing this, going different ways, just to show how that water is represented, going multiple directions. You're going to do some going this way to show how the water is split. Alright? So we're going to keep going here. Just adding our water going different ways. We're going to do that all the way down to the bottom. Remember, do some going the opposite way to represent that water actually splitting. Again, it's okay for lines to overlap when you're doing things like this, just because it's representing the waves going back and forth. So it's okay if your lines kind of overlap each other. Just adding a few lines kind of throughout it. And we're going to go back later and we're going to add the shading and all of that too, okay? And that'll help with the overall detailing. Adding our lines, representing the water in here. These lines are a bit smaller. Alright, we're going to come up here and just add those little swirls that we see. Representing the wind and all of that. I'm going to come here. We're going to add that kind of other, it looks kind of like a mountain, but it's the water. And put that right here in the corner. Take it about halfway. I'm going to split a little bit, put a line here. That's kind of where this starts connecting. Moses, our interpretation of Moses at least, and this is actually him parting the Red Sea, so we still have to draw the staff and all of that as well. But I do want to let you guys know I am using an H pencil. This is just good for outlining because it's a pretty light pencil. When we want to go darker, we're going to go to our B, so we'll go to like 3B, 4B, so on and so on. And I also have my Prismacolor marker, which we're going to be using to outline the overall drawing, just to highlight and make it stand out even more on the canvas. Alright? And make sure you have your pencil sharpeners and erasers because that's very essential. Alright, now let's start back on drawing Moses here. Now, I was drawing the garments on the last video. We started kind of adding detail to his garments, so I'm going to pick up where we left off there. And we're just going to kind of do like the, if you look at your reference drawing, we can put that on the screen, and you can get it at heartforart.live. You can download this reference drawing and many more that has even more detailed shading. You can check that out over there too, okay? So I'm going to come here, just add a few more details. It's just kind of representing like the folds of the garment. Alright, just adding a few of these little lines. Alright, we're going to stop there, and we're going to add the waistband kind of here. And it's kind of hidden behind this, so we don't want to put the line completely over here, so we're going to just go halfway there. And I'm doing my lines kind of halfway so it represents it being tied. Just going to connect those lines to that. Alright. Later on, we're going to go back and add. Hi guys, stop what you're doing. Yes, I'm interrupting the drawing tutorial. Stop really quick if you haven't. If you are on YouTube, click that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and share this video so you can continue to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ to each and every individual here on earth. Alright guys, let's get back to the drawing. Add shading, like so we can get those dark spots that you kind of see in the garment. You see light, dark, light, dark. So we're going to go back and add all of that, okay? And if I'm not able to get to everything here, you can learn how to draw this step by step as well. On heartforart.live, we have like different blogs and things over there that just teaches you how to draw images like this, as well as many, many more. Alright, I'm just adding a few more details. We're doing the lines going different ways, so it represents the different folds of the garment. Alright, and a few lines here. Alright, that's kind of a rough draft there of the garment. And we're going to go and add a few lines I see here on the sleeve. First, let me go ahead and erase this little line, which was from the wave that we did. I will suggest that you kind of clean your eraser before erasing, so your last drawing residue won't get on your new drawing. So I'm just kind of rubbing it back and forth on my hand, just like this, just to get that first residue off. Alright, and this is also a Prismacolor eraser. The thing about these is you have to like keep erasing the same spot, because it kind of it works as a shading tool as well. So it's known to smear like this, but if you keep rubbing, you see it get lighter and lighter. Yeah, the first time I got this, I kind of got a little nervous when I was erasing and did that. It's like, what's going on? And if you keep going, it comes off. And I use it occasionally as a shading tool too, just because it does that. Trying to make it light but not totally gone, because I'm going to use it for the shading part. We're going to go back and add the marker and all of that too, so your lines won't smear once you start going back and adding the marker, all of that too. Alright, I'm going to leave it like this because I actually want to use that when we start shading for the sleeve. Alright? Alright. Now I'm going to come here, I'm going to add that line that you see is kind of like a split sleeve kind of thing here. Add that. Add a little fold here. It's an under fold kind of right here. Okay. Now I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna add just the outline of the hand. So this hand over here, it's like holding the staff. And this hand is just kind of tucked behind, so you can't really see it, but we're just kind of at like a little representation of it. It's gonna go kind of behind the garment. So it's gonna almost look like a piece of the garment. It's just got to represent that he does have a hand on this side. kind of like an outline kind of tucked hand. Now on this side, we're going to actually represent this hand holding the staff. Do our outline. The hand is kind of turned like this. You're just going to do like a tiny little outlines of the fingers, but again, remember, it's folded. Just kind of squared off just a little bit. So it's like the hands are almost like a fist, like this. So you wouldn't do full fingers. It's kind of like part, like the back of his hand. So this is representing like the back of his hand. Okay. Now I'm going to draw an outline of the staff. I'm going to put it under. You don't want to do it straight. It would be almost like the form of like a stick. We're going to go back with the marker too for this. It's kind of like a crooked line. Alright. Now we're going to go back and darken those. Like your tiny lines, you can kind of leave those a bit lighter because we're actually going to be shading using those. But pretty much all of these little lines, you need to go back with the marker. Alright? So let's first start up here. I'm going to just retrace. Then we're going to come here, we're going to start on our water. Still keep it going opposite ways though, so that it adds those different dimensions and everything. You're just really retracing. But the reason we didn't use the marker first is just in case we need to go back and erase and all of that. Like now, since we have our position of where we want the lines, we can go back with the marker. But if we would have done this first, we wouldn't have been able to go back if the line was crooked or anything like that. You can use the reference image as kind of a draft so you can know where to darken the lines. And all of those little zigzags and stuff add to the detail. Some of the lines I'm leaving lighter just in case I want to use them when I'm shading. And this just adds a little more of a bolder look to the overall drawing. Make sure you do the water going opposite ways. Represent like a wave. Notice somewhere where you want to change something, I would suggest you change it before you go to that area with the marker. So if you see something now that you're wanting to change on your drawing, stop and do it, and then retrace it. You don't want like straight lines because you want to represent that water, of course, so you don't want them super duper straight. marker will dry. I would suggest you wait just a little while before messing with any of the parts that you put the marker. It's gonna dry, but just give it a few seconds so it dry. Back and forth waves down here at the bottom. Remember, if you're wanting to shade, if you don't have like a blending tool, you can use like a makeup brush or even a Q-tip to shade, but don't use your hands. Do not use your fingers, because the oil from your hands will actually could actually ruin your drawing, and it's messed up a few of my drawings doing that. And if you look at it when you use your finger, it has like these tiny little ridged lines. That's the oil from your hand mixing with that. Okay, that's kind of the left side. Now I do want to come back and add more water right here, so it's almost like touching Moses, but we can add that kind of like at the end when we're just doing our final details. But let's get like our basic structure and outline, and we'll do all of that once we start doing the shading and all of that right here, because these are just like a few lines that we can add. It's just an additional detail that I think would be a nice touch. More water right here, so it's almost like touching Moses, but we can add that kind of like at the end when we're just doing our final details. But let's get like our basic structure and outline, and we'll do all of that once we start doing the shading and all of that right here, because these are just like a few lines that we can add. It's just an additional detail that I think would be a nice touch to add, so it will be connected to Moses and it looks more realistic, so it's not this big just random gap here. So we'll go back and add that, okay? Again, this is a 9 by 12 canvas. So I did resize the picture to 9 by 12. So we can see exactly what points go all the way to the end, you know. And it will be like small in the center of the canvas. Water here in the back. Our drawing is totally complete, I will suggest that you like gloss it. So there's like art gloss that is specifically for sketching, and that just helps to kind of, so it won't smear. It'll make it last a long time too. Kind of giving us our outline for all of our water. I'm going to add a few that's this side is pretty good with connecting it to Moses. We will add a few more like back here, but this side is mainly the side we're going to be working on next, just so we can kind of connect everything, and we'll do that before we start shading, so because you won't really be able to go back once we use the marker. So I'll outline it with the pencil and all of that, get the lines that we need, and then go back with the marker and outline it as well. Then we're going to finish outlining Moses, and we're going to pretty much do shading after that. So next we're going to finish a few more outlines, adding a few more details, then we're going to shade, and drawing will be complete. Alright guys, so that pretty much wraps up the drawing for this week of drawing Moses parting the Red Sea. I did want to let you guys know, make sure you check out our Biblical Arts Museum at abamcenter.com, where we house over 150 different multicultural biblical characters and 20 plus African kings, as well as there has just been added a virtual walkthrough tour of the museum over there, so make sure you check that out. In addition to, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you also go to eternalfriends.tv so you can watch Heart for Art on live TV. We're now on the Roku device on Eternal Friends Network TV. You can catch us there 7 a.m. every morning. So if you haven't already, make sure you go over there and check that out. And if you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to our channel at Heart for Art. We're going to be doing step-by-step sketch tutorials of the Bible from Genesis to Revelation. So make sure you stay tuned for the entire series. Again, make sure you guys check us out on heartforart.live so you can get step-by-step sketch tutorials, as well as you can see more ways that you can use your drawing and grow it more as an artist. Thank you guys so much again for tuning in. Check us out again, heartforart.live. Go ahead over there and avail yourself to all of those resources. God bless, guys. Stay encouraged and don't give up on God's calling for your life. See you next Tuesday, 2 p.m. CST. Bye.
As a visual artist. Well, now you can. What kind of results will you get when you pray? If you are looking for even greater results in your God-given gifts and talents through prayer and supplication, maybe you have been missing a very important component. In How to Get Answers Every Time You Pray, Ms. Zoe shares with the body of Christ and visual artists a powerful and effective revelation shown through God's Word on the power of knowing God's vision for your life and how it will help you further your spiritual life as well as your life as an artist. How to Get Answers Every Time You Pray. For visual artists, The Power of Partnership is a guide that defines what prayer is, discusses how you can use your gifts and talents for the kingdom of God through prayer, partnership, and God's vision. How to Get Answers Every Time You Pray is a must-have for every artist and believer. Your life is sure to be blessed by the practical steps and wisdom shared within this book. Apply these simple steps and truths and get the answers that you are asking for from God every time. Go to heart4art.live, join the Heart for Art Club and get your